Throw Gang, we are joined by the king of cardies, Lawrence Schlossman, and myself, the pharaoh of flow. We'll get into that, James Harris. Welcome to the weekly Running of the Boys, which today's full episode only available on patreon.com/throwingfits. You need to go there. Lawrence, how was your birthday week?
The birthday bitch has logged into the chat. Listen.
Yo, happy birthday, my...
Oh, no. Whoa. Live.
Big Our Legacy Workshop bag.
Wow.
Big, wave bag. Oh, it's Fila's.
Oh, my God, bro. Did you put these on the TF card?
No.
First of all, these are...
I think they're fake disruptors.
These are not even... You got like the Roche Run version of Fila disruptors.
Roche Runs were too expensive for me to throw down on, so I had to go with the disruptors.
What am I going to do? I'm not taking these home.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. You got to just donate them to someone.
If you want free Fila Disruptor Roche Runs, please check out Chef, we're going to need you to bleep out James's address at 125. That's what you get. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you so much.
I know that you were expecting
best friend.
You're expecting another all-white gift from me, but it's disruptors.
You know how there's like the real Tims that you can get, and then there's like the
flimsy
the flimsy Tims, the
flimsies,
the
Timsies.
diffusion line level Tims.
Yeah.
These aren't even. You couldn't even get me real Fila disruptors.
$40. $40.
$40. We are in so much debt, and you're out here spending $40 of $20 of my own money on this bullshit.
No, bro, I didn't spend this. I didn't put this on TF card. Are you kidding me?
Oh, really?
This is my own hard-earned money.
Well,
that costs like 20 seconds of work hours.
All right, well, I guess if anything, my birthday is now officially over. Thank you to the hundreds of Throw Gang who were nice enough to wish the birthday bitch a happy... In human years, it's 34, and in TF years, I'm like 26. So, for all intents and purposes...
You're an old bitch no matter which way you flip it.
I'm on the wrong side of 25 in my mind, but on the right side of 35 in the actual annals of history.
Yeah.
So, that's where we're at. I will say... I'm a birthday Grinch, and
while you're a full holiday Grinch.
Yeah,
you hate all holidays.
I hate the expectation that like you have to participate in anything, whether it's about you or about baby Jesus or the Easter Bunny or St. Patrick or whoever.
What do you do though? Did you get like a nice like
Jenna
B-Day blowjay? Like
Jenna and I went to my favorite restaurant, King's County Imperial, and we blew
right here.
I know. And we blew a motherfucking bag, and it was delicious. And I will say that at a certain point, answering all the birthday wishes does feel a bit like customer service.
That's the one that's over the years, as I and we have gained in notoriety and fandom, that is a blessing in disguise of having a birthday on a holiday.
It's like
having a birthday on a holiday, July 4th, turning 23 on July 4th this year. It's everyone's like too fucked up and busy to kind of wish you happy birthday. Dude. Like they're off doing their own thing.
But you probably love the spotlight. Like you have birthday parties. Like I had a surprise birthday party that was thrown against my will, and outside of that, I don't really do anything.
I always kind of like tried not. I'm like, I don't want to do.
This is
no. It's really this is like the mental cycle. It's like I don't want to do anything this year, and it's like, but I should do something. Like people are looking to me to make their July 4th plans for them.
Oh, wow. So it's
like we're not at that. I'm not at that stage yet where everyone's like, oh, like we're going out of town for July 4th. It's like, yo, what are we doing for the 4th? And I got to be like, fuck, I got to think of a thing. And
so you have that. Well, and that's my point. It's like that responsibility.
Yeah.
You and I love the spotlight and love being centers of attention, but it needs to be earned. It's like earned media. You know what I'm
not
saying?
Not just born into it.
Exactly. I want to earn the attention. I want to earn the laughs. I want to earn all the.
What was the birthday
praise.
fit?
What was the birthday fit? Oh, I wore so I get to do 2 fit checks?
Yes.
The birthday
Happy
fit.
birthday to you.
Thank you. The birthday fit.
I get disruptors, an extra fit check.
Yeah, wow.
Some fucking...
Honestly, an extra getting to double up on the fit check is very special and meaningful. I had on a Bolioli double-breasted sport
Real
coat.
G's moving silence like Bolioli.
I had a Stussy tee on. I wore Levi's 501s. And I believe I wore Gucci loafers. It looked good.
Stussy T, just really classy up at Kings County.
It's just, listen, it's high-low, baby. If I've learned anything in my 26 years, it's you want a little bit of high, you want a little bit of low, and you want a lot of Chinese food.
And sometimes a lot of high. All right, before we get into hometown hero Ass Pizza just foisting New York onto his
Shout
frail,
out Austin Butts.
tattooed shoulders, before we get into DMX story time, and before we get into the most triggering, absurd Jawnz opinions that the Throw Gang submitted via Twitter, let's get into a fit check.
Yeah, James, why don't you lead us off?
All right, I
already got one. I already started.
The first weekend of fit check. From the feets up, I guess like from the fit pick I had on the Reebok DMX Trail Runners. Shout out you, Ryan. Shout out Ryan
Sneaker
Forsyth.
of the season.
Sneaker of the season. Possibly sneaker of the year.
Wow. Early days.
For sure
Early
in the
days
conversation.
Still, for sure.
Nike socks, the only pants that matter.
If you
honestly,
copped, salute to you. If you didn't cop, you're a fucking bozo and you will regret
normally
it.
like when we're fucking hawking or shilling a product, right? We wear it all over socials just until like the pre-order window closes. I still have not taken these off.
No, they're great. And I kind of fired some shots in today's dumper that is out on patreon.com/throwingfits. Yeah, if you blew it, you're a fucking bozo. There's no way around it. And hopefully you can just use this as a teachable moment to do the right thing next time.
It's so funny that everyone's like every single time we drop something, you see people come out the woodwork just like, yo, you're going to reissue that? How can I still, you got any extras? Can I still cop? It's like, no, just pull the fucking trigger. Always be copping. Right?
Always be copping.
Next up, the very limited edition 1 of 100 Blackbird Spy Plane merch. Shout out my guy, Jonah Weiner.
Ooh-wee.
This piece of merch, this individual John had a few... It took a circuitous route to get here, which,
where in the world is
Blackbird
Spy Plane merch?
It burned a lot of carbon, which isn't really the Blackbird Spy Plane way, but it eventually found its way home. Fuck you, Louis DeJoy, the Postmaster General, whatever, the Trump motherfucker.
Is he still the Postmaster General?
He
didn't lose his job? Seems like an oversight.
I was the first person to cop. Lord was the 100th. She and I, there is a cosmic.
That's the hands shaking. That's you and Lord.
Where is it?
It's right there. Yeah.
Right there. You can hear the trees. Shout out Jonah. Yo, see you soon, Jonah. And then on top, R.I.P. Kinfolk.
Yeah.
Kinfolk Life, I guess, right?
Yeah. That was the store?
Yeah. New York City hat. And then Hanes boxers, and that's it. Complete fit check.
I wore Belgians to the crib. I have on ALD socks. I am wearing vintage Armani double pleated chinos. The button popped off earlier.
You from what? You gaining that weight back?
No, I think it's like, I'm not a true 32, but I am, listen,
a vain 32.
I'm Icarus out here with the Jawnz. I am flying very close to the sun. The button popped off, and because I'm a modern man, I sewed it back on. After a little help from JB to get it started, and I kind of adjusted it, so now it's more of like a 33,
all right,
which I think is the sweet spot.
Yo, with pants, if you size up, you can always belt it, right? You can't fucking...
That's what we're telling people with the fatigues, right? Yeah. Just give yourself a size, give yourself a little bit of breathing room. Who knows? Of course, it's going to be the horniest summer on record, but if you don't think that people are going to be out in the streets with pure reveille, eating and drinking, come on, use your fucking brain.
New York Post today said it's going to be the Whoring 20s, like, which is, a pun that's been on Twitter forever.
The Whoring 20s?
Yeah.
I've heard like the Roaring 20s Redux type thing.
No, it's the Whoring 20s.
Damn, New York Post, listen... Headless body found in topless bar.
Yeah, Rupert Murdoch. If you want to buy a podcast, I know of one. And then, okay, real quick.
I'm not done with the fit.
Sorry, you're only at the waist.
I'm wearing a vintage Beatles Sgt. Pepper's tee, which is kind of like what our mixtapes, I think, harken back to. That's kind of the reference. The collage with all of the...
No, they're more pen and pixel.
I don't know. I mean, maybe that's your point of reference. I don't think Chuck is necessarily nailing either of these two things. But
fair.
he's somewhere straddling in the middle.
He's creating his own school.
Yes, he is. You know me, hopping out the Rover, mohair on my shoulder, courtesy of the homies, the Malmomies at Trey Bion. And then up top, I have on a vintage The Game hat, courtesy of the homies at Relax Lacrosse. Go Wake Forest Demon Deacons. That's a complete fit check. Want to talk about the beers?
Is that your school team name, the Demon Deacons?
The Wake Forest are the Demon Deacons.
All right. What's a deacon?
A deacon is some type of religious leader or something.
But they're demons?
I mean, listen, dude. That kind of... speaking of the duality of man, it's like you go to church. We may get fucked up in the process. You know what I'm saying?
Drink check. So real quick, flow team politics. If you're going to flow us some shit... Mm-hmm. Yes, we told you in the DMs, I gave you my address. Lawrence gave you his.
I also would just give people yours.
and I give them yours. Blaze Brewing Co. gave us these nice Kolsch's and some other shits that are in the fridge. But
Kolsch style ale.
yo,
They're good.
just know that
Fucked up.
yeah, the DMs are always inundated with like flow team offers, and so it would be really helpful if you threw in, unless we're like actually boys, throw in a little piece of paper that says like, yo, this is the Instagram, right? Because like you're doing it just for the tag. Luckily, Blaze Brewing Co.
Yeah, their logo.
You're blazing up on the boys only.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that my crib, I think, is fucking cursed. I think it's in this like Greenpoint Bermuda Triangle. Not only did the Blackbird spy plane get returned back to California and then eventually end up back here, our guy Jam Store, who did the Deadbird arc, and I think I talked about this, right?
The customized. No, you told me. I don't think you.
He did a custom beta.
He's part of the artist series.
Beta AR with Arc'teryx, right? So he did an artist series with Koopy Gill on.
Shout out the boy.
Yep, best creative director in the game, and he sent me some shit, and for whatever reason, the address got input wrong. It's not his fault. It's
not user error.
It's the place. It's the fact that this place is cursed. It ended up at some place like a mile and a half from here. I went to that building. I talked to the mailman. I talked to the super. I talked to the person who was addressed to. They were like, "Yo," they're just like, "Someone snagged it. Like, what do you expect?" I was like, "Yeah, you're right. Like, it's gone forever."
That's a brutal one because that's a true one of one grail.
Yeah.
And you moving down the hall, you think will correct this curse or no?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I guess it's still the same building, still the same address for all intents and purposes. Chef, we're gonna need a bleep at 11:48 as well. Happy birthday to me,
and not to Chef. All right, let's get into the hometown hero, someone who is near and dear to our heart. This ass pizza. X Supreme ?
Yeah.
The triple box logo. What do you think?
Well, I think that the relationship that you and I have had with the cool teens, this crew of creative young go-hards.
Who are only like 4 years younger than us, right?
Well, yeah, if you and I are 26 and 23, like we claim to be. I was fascinated with this crew back in the Four Pins days. I mean, we're talking about Ass Pizza. We're talking about Mike the Ruler. We're talking about Lucas Sabat, Father Steve, Jonah Levine. The guys that my internet friends to this day who I think keep me young. I had no idea that the Ass Pizza, Mike the Ruler, Fashion Bros, Autism After School Awareness Special had cracked 200,000 views. Like, people are watching that. And first of all, the fact that that's one of the 3 Fashion Bros that's still alive is insane to me.
I know.
But it's kind of awesome.
I recently tried to look up the ASAP Ferg episode to pitch his people on it. And
remember us?
Yeah. Hey.
Yo, shout out Ferg. Ferg has always been really cool and has recognized us since that, which I think
like
speaks to his character.
one year later, aka 10 years ago.
Don't fucking embarrass me.
The Ass Pizza thing, they were children. They were literally like 11 and 14. And
I don't know about 11, but
I'm pretty sure Mike the Ruler was 11 years old.
No,
was he not?
No way.
They were like 13 and 16.
They were like 14, 15, somewhere in there.
But Mike was
the golden years.
Was younger than
all
Austin.
Those guys have kind of blown. I mean, obviously Austin. You know what he's been doing as Ass Pizza for I don't fucking is this 10 years now? I don't know. What are we talking about? It's been like almost nearly a decade of fucking DIY,
like 5 to 6
upcycling, fucking insanity. I mean, Mike the Ruler, Mike Hope is now a fashion consultant. Jonah does Psych World with the homie Zach Bia. He's like a fucking A&R on the side. Father Steve is making amazing art, and Lucas Sabat needs no introduction. Dude is basically a celebrity. Like, it's kind of crazy to see the rise, the sustained clout, right? They never fell off.
This moment,
you and I,
right? I mean, this moment for Ass Pizza, it was very awesome. It was very cool because
this is not a real collab. I think I know it's being positioned as such, but I think it's troll.
It's entirely his manufacturing. But I do think that it was very cool to see this happen because he was so into it.
Yes.
And if you have followed Ass Pizza over the years, there have been moments where it's like, yo, is this kid gonna make it? Like, is he gonna fucking just,
Ass Pizza lifestyle might not make it.
Is he gonna die?
Right. He truly is a boxcar child.
He's a feral fucking wolf child.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, getting to know him in the Fashion Bros episode when he was a sweet young 15-year-old and very endearing and very like nice, and then seeing him on the fucking that Vine, right?
Yeah, Gucci, Louis, 3-bar logo.
Yes!
Now Gucci, Louis, 3-bar logo. These niggas out there.
Yes! Which you will know I've obviously pilfered and then kind of combined and synthesized with the Sean William Scott old school trank.
Yes!
Yes.
That's awesome.
Shout out to Ass Pizza. This is an extension of his original kind of viral triple box logo, John, that was seen on the back of what? XXX.
But every
R.I.P. You dead bitch, Lucas Sabat.
Every time Ass Pizza kind of like had a little moment again, it always felt a little like tragic, like still rooting for him and still wanting him to win, but he didn't seem kind of like into it, or it didn't seem like it was really making the waves that he maybe had hoped or thought. But then this, I don't know why, I don't know what, but I mean, it's not like
the marketing was awesome.
So it's not an official Supreme logo, but
billboards was fire.
The effort and like time and rollout of this was just fucking great, and it was just like amazing to watch this unfurl over like 2 days. And it's like the normal like, yo, can't wait to show you guys what I've been working on, and then it's like, oh shit,
when the big thing's coming. Call out is actually like a big thing.
Yeah, like
whether manufactured or not.
The photos by Sweet Kean were big gas. With the balaclavas in the car.
Shaq is in that. And a bunch of other fucking homies. Yeah.
And then it was just awesome to like it's springtime in New York. Everyone in New York is very happy right now. Everyone
kids
in New York,
are going crazy. I mean,
kids are going crazy. The fact that he was just like throwing shit. I mean, it was. Not revolutionary, but like him hanging it up in like Canal Street like little T-shirt store.
New York moment, right?
Absolutely.
And we have reached out to Austin, and he wants to come on the podcast, and I can't wait for him to not just tell the story of how this came together, because like I kind of was I fully duped out the gate? Is duped even the right word? I want to hear about this, because what's very interesting is that all of these are on Supreme blanks, which is fucking sick. And that's an attention to detail, at least from what I understand. That's an attention to detail that I think is like very much, for the heads. This isn't kind of like the cut and sew DIY. Even though it is DIY, it's done in a way with the marketing campaign that really feels like he built a true collaboration with Supreme without their approval from scratch. We want to hear that story, and then we just want to hear about this journey that he's been on. He was in England for a while with some weird fucking backer. He's been making art.
He lost his teeth for a minute there.
Yeah,
he got fucking I don't know what happened.
Yeah, there's been some run-ins.
If it was a Supreme collab, for me when I was kind of entertaining that thought, I was like, yo, this is actually kind of cool, Supreme, if they really did move away from like doing just other big brand collabs like Doc Martens, Nike, North Face, other like VF brands, right? That's the parent company, and actually tapped into this like weird left field, unexpected
local hero type beat.
Yeah, like very not like I wouldn't say like hero like King of the Teens right now, but certainly has some fucking juice.
But I will say, from this idea of like who still moves the needle in the streets, like, and obviously there are like extremely influential people with blue check marks all over Instagram that that hold themselves in high esteem and think that they actually move the needle. But when it comes down to it, a dude like Ass Pizza, regardless of like the ups and downs of that journey, like this dude fucking puts asses in seats and sells merch. And that to me is like very fucking fascinating.
When it became clear to me that this wasn't an officially sanctioned Supreme thing, that only made it cooler because he's like, yo, fuck Supreme. I'm going to troll the shit out of them by making it look like it's an official collab.
Right,
but still like kind of towing the line of like trolling them, like pulling up to the fucking, Bowery location and throwing BOGOs at the line, and people being like, he's like, yo, who wants a BOGO? And then people are just like, he's like, go get it. Go get it. It's a BOGO.
The execution, I think, of the product was really well done to the point where like it seems totally real. Even though we're only seeing this digitally, I think that like from a tactile perspective, from what I can deduce, it feels like a real fucking tee that Supreme could put out. He's got fucking Sheck West in the marketing. He's got Kean fucking as his shooter. It feels like a real thing. So to your point, whether or not Supreme is involved, whether or not like he's a thorn in their side, like he accomplished everything I'm sure he hoped to with this, and that. Yo, you got to give credit where credit's due, because how many people do we see, whether young or old, like think that they're making waves, but it's like, bitch, you ain't making shit.
You're not getting talked about for 10 minutes on the only podcast that matters.
I can't wait until we get Austin on the pod when he's back from LA.
Him making
basically booked.
Him making the fake Supreme IG story and like reposted it.
That was really good.
That's when I was like, oh fuck, is this real? And then I went to the Supreme story and it was still like, oh no, it's just Supreme
They're
Doc
promoting
Martens.
Doc Martens, yeah.
And then I was like, all right, there's no way this is real. If he's
Sure.
like, if he's doctoring, Supreme's IG stories. So yeah, shout out the fucking hometown hero Austin Butts bringing
Friend of the program.
New York back.
Hell yeah.
Unfortunately, another hometown hero that is in dark times right now is Darkman X.
Yo, real quick. So we've joked about the TF curse in regards to
Yo, careful what you say.
Guests on the previous podcast endeavor that shall not be named, and now throwing fits, finding themselves in
Quandaries of various
cancelable situations,
various serious magnitudes of seriousness.
And what was hilarious to me is that on last week's Boys Only, in some reference to Chet Hayes and you comparing me to him, you made a joke about me singing DMX or rapping along to DMX and not censoring myself at a potential afters or whatever. And then what happened? Also, by the way, this is the MF Doom thing kind of all over again. That's another example. But you mentioned this as a joke in passing, and then what happened over
Yo, I hope
remaining days after?
I hope Ass Peach is gonna be okay. That's all I have to say.
If there is a TF curse and we are as powerful as we think we are, who would you want to hex off rip? And please go off.
Whoever the fuck the hosts are of Forever 35, the only the only other podcast that dominates the #1 slot on the fashion charts as heavily as we do.
Yeah. Those two poor women.
One of them just dropped dead.
I think the gals on the go are also in there.
Really?
Let's get them the fuck out of here
Get
too.
the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Okay, so
who
them.
else?
Mitch McConnell. Fuck Mitch McConnell
for sure.
You goblin ass fucking you turkey goblin ass neck motherfucker. You can fucking kick rocks.
Joe Manchin, right? For sure. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
Yo, anybody.
I'm not trying to kill anybody. I'm not trying to kill anybody right now.
I am a lover. I am not a fighter. But if you have ever de-pledged from the Throwing Fits Patreon for any reason that was not like financial based or maybe
I got one.
Or maybe not necessarily because of some emotional turmoil going on in your own life, fuck you. You can get all the smoke. I'll see you in hell, motherfuckers.
Yeah, hexed, bitch. I got one. I know that he or she is not listening because it happened on the subreddit, and therefore you're a broke boy because you had to let your thoughts fly in the r/throwing fits, not in the cord. Our best friends, by the way. Shout out Thon. Shout out Kevin Finnerty.
Oh wow, damn, that's a lot of love. I mean, these are
shout
our
out
best friends.
Our Hood. Yeah. Shout out CP3PO who shares a birthday with you. Whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
All the homies. Whoever the fuck said, yo, instead of getting the 316 TF fatigues, I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna get the Let me back up a little bit. The post is by R. Kelly being like, hey, everyone, 316X Throwing Fits available now.
Support the homies.
Support the homies. First comment is, ooh, I love supporting the homies, but
yeah,
I don't know if I could do $200 for pants. Here's a pair of $50 pants that are similar, but clear, and also made in the USA, but clearly of inferior quality, inferior fucking aesthetics, inferior everything.
Yeah,
it just hijacked the subreddit, of the only fatigues that matter. So that guy, a hex upon you.
And I will say that the pants, the natural Stan Ray fatigues, are like very slim and skinny. At least that was like a link that was dumped later, and it's like, if that's what you want, then honestly we can't help you.
If that's what you want, then we don't want you buying our pants.
And it kind of reminds me of some of these, or at least one or two of some of the potential unpopular Jawnz opinions that we're going to get to, where it's like, yo, if that's what you want, if that's what your tiny peanut brain is leading to, a skinny pair of $50 natural fatigues, then you're barking up the wrong tree. Why are you in the sub to begin with? Take your ass to fucking MFA before you die in a terrible accident because the TF curse has been put upon you.
If my 28 years have taught me anything, it's that you truly do get what you pay for.
Now you're 28.
I don't know. I can't keep track.
You're aging exponentially.
If my 19 years have taught me anything.
By the end of this episode, you're going to be fucking 43, dude. Like Chris Black.
Oh, no! Oh, do you want to talk about my sobriety?
Oh, damn. Did I just put a hex on Chris Black? Oh, no. Chef.
What a shame. What a shame. So
Dark
you
Man
get
X.
what you pay for. right? If you're gonna pay $50
Yeah.
for pants, they're gonna
This is all
fucking come
moot
apart.
too,
at the seams.
by the way,
Whatever.
because the pants have come and gone.
Yes.
And as one window opens, another window fucking closes. And listen, man, if you're out here in skinny Stan Rays and you see us in the fucking park celebrating James's birthday on the birthday of this
Yo, by
country,
the way,
don't even bother dapping us
I
up.
wanted to run this by you, but I
okay.
want to do a throwing fits barbecue in the park. Come one, come all. At some point over the summer.
Well, for patrons. Putting the
Sure.
flyer on Patreon.
Yeah, like giving
Which
the,
will leak immediately.
yeah, giving the info to everyone except the guy that big up the Stan Ray pants.
Yeah,
but-
that'd be fun. Wait, not
Like,
not
throw
about
down-
your birthday, but something completely
No, like a
unrelated.
week or two after, but like at some point in the summer, just like grab a grill in
In
McCarran
BK?
or McGolrick here.
Yeah, let's do McGolrick.
Throw together a few picnic tables.
Couple bags.
Sure, I was gonna say coolers of beers and
There are
other
public
beverages.
restrooms.
There's porta potties in McCarran, yeah. So
I'm saying
yeah,
we'll go to McGolrick and we'll.
if you're a $20 patron, I'll give you.
install.
If you're a $20 patron, I'll give you the keys to my house. So you can come do drugs here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we have said your address multiple times on this episode.
Don't say it again. I would love to do that as like a summer
That'd
thing.
be cool.
As we're starting to think about the summer, like literally just like yo,
Should that
just
be a
come
goal?
through, just
Yo,
come through.
Obviously, because of the panini, because of the fucking the
I don't think it's a goal.
the
I think we just-
myriad of financial crises that have been happening because of said panini. I feel like the LA goal still
gonna happen,
exists,
but
and
it
we're
is
gonna
gonna
do that.
happen,
The JB at
You deleted
20K
that.
goal has been punted very far down the line, which is fair because that is going to be a hammer of justice, and we should save that for when it actually fucking
We're
counts.
really bankrupt.
But yo, maybe if we need a little fucking juice, a little push to get to like 18.5, let's do the barbecue.
Bro, I don't think it's a goal. I think we just do it. I think that we're not gonna have a
I'm trying to eat literally and figuratively.
R.I.P.
off this.
Kinfolk. I think that we get a chef homie, not chef, but he'll be too busy bleeping on my address from
like
every time we
a
drop it.
real chef. Homie.
Yeah, like a real chef homie.
Not that
to
chef isn't a
fucking
real chef, but a chef
get
with
on
a
the
different kind.
grill, get his fucking chanclatas on. Just fucking grill up.
That'd be great.
Just get
That's a fucking
get
great
Blaze
idea.
Brewing or whatever to
Yo, if we
supply
could get
the
some
brews.
fucking sponsors, maybe you and I could put the effort into like do that right.
Yo,
so
merch. Oh my god.
Yo, a little fucking merch stand manned by Chuck and Chef or
Like
the
throwing
merchman.
fits BBQ. Like
I went to the Throwing Fits BBQ and all I got
Was
was
chlamydia.
a bump in this stupid
was a bloody nose in the porta potty.
Yeah, exactly. It was a bloody nose in the fucking bathroom stall. Yeah, that's a great idea.
All right.
I'm happy that we should start workshopping ideas like that on mic. That's a good one.
We have too much going on, bro. We need a whiteboard. That's what we need. But yes, okay. Darkman X was unfortunately hexed by me. This has been a terrible year for my top 5 dead or alive.
Well, you lost one completely.
MF Doom.
Gone. You're number one,
That was
right?
terrible. My number 1, yeah. Honestly, DMX maybe in the top 3, just because like he was the first kind of rapper to like. Everyone's like Jay-Z, and me being the guy that always zigs when people zag, I'm like, oh, DMX.
Yeah.
DMX was
Who
probably
went on
top
one of the
3.
most crazy runs of all time with like 4 or 5 number ones.
He's the only rapper, maybe artist, to ever have 2 number 1s in the same year. The first. I'm sure someone's done it since. I'm sure like Drake or Bieber has
What
done
was
it
the
since.
debut?
It's Dark and Hell is Hot, and then
Flesh of My Flesh,
Blood of My Blood, which I have like, it's over there, but I have like a Jonathan Mannion print
Oh, fire.
of that,
goat.
of him like covered in blood, because somebody on Craigslist was like, yo, I can't have this in my home. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, my girl wants to kill me.
Right.
And so when I was at Def Jam, I was like, yo, I want this for my office. Then I was unceremoniously I guess I left. And it's just been sitting there because, like, yeah, I can't fucking hang this, like, bloody man
No, you
in my
can't.
crib.
What are you talking
But
about?
yo,
You're a bachelor, bro.
But maybe now I can.
In the new crib.
In the office space with,
Yes.
So
what he
yeah,
OD'd.
he OD'd and had a heart attack. He was always been struggling with drugs forever.
Do we know what was it crack?
We
I don't know.
don't. We don't. He's had issues, I guess, with like
Pills, whatever.
crack, pills, coke. Who among us,
Sorry
right?
for laughing. I don't know why.
Who among us? But Rough Riders was always Def Jam, and like DMX was a fucking boon to Def Jam in the late '90s and throughout the 2000s, I believe. He went to jail for a long time for like tax evasion.
Sure.
The reason why he's like in my top 5 is he was one of the first CDs ever bought by myself from Amadou Diallo. I'll make this quick. Like the dude that got shot 47 times by NYPD in like 98, 99. It was when It's Dark in Hell I was out.
You bought the bootleg from him.
Yeah, he sold bootleg CDs and tapes.
He was basically murdered by the police because he was selling bootlegs. What?
No. He was like going back to his crib in like East New York or Canarsie. I forget.
Wrongfully ID'd, probably.
And
or something.
there was like he matched the description of like a rape suspect, and NYPD was like, "Yo, show us your hands," and he starts pulling. Again, this is all fucking according mostly to the NYPD because no one else that witnessed it is alive. He started pulling out his wallet. They shot him 47 times. They had to reload their guns to continue shooting him.
Christ.
There were bullet holes found in the soles of his feet, meaning that he was laying down and they were like still shooting at him.
Unloading, fucking brutal.
And I believe all 3 cops were acquitted. And there was like,
of course they always.
Yeah.
Death taxes, cops getting away with murder.
It was crazy. Like that was, as a privileged half white person, that was like my first run-in.
I heard about
police
this
brutality.
via Rage Against the Machine. This was a big cause that they took up. Our concert just got fucking delayed another year.
But It's Dark in Hell's Out, I would play like all the way through. One of my skills in life is rapping the entirety of the Rough Riders anthem without dropping the N-bomb.
So the opposite of what you were saying, I do.
Yeah, and then DMX was Def Jam, which like isn't a reason why I wanted to ever work at Def Jam or anything, but it was just cool when he came out of jail. Right? And one of the first things he did was come to Def Jam to kind of like talk about his deal. Is he going to re-up his contract? What about like what is he owed from his legacy catalog?
Sure.
And me and John W., our guy, we were like doing content at Def Jam at the time. I was like, yo, we need 5 minutes with him. I just want to talk to him about his Woodstock 99 concert.
Incredible.
Like it's the footage that goes viral once every 6 months.
Always.
The whole world came out to see DMX, and we never got to release this interview because, again, it was like day 2 that he was out. And then...
Oh, you were at Def Jam? This wasn't when you were at Complex.
I was at Def Jam. We were doing like in-house... We were trying to do like in-house content. And then his team was like, yo, if it's cool with you guys, can we hold this?
What did he say about... What were the insights about that Woodstock, that earth-shattering show?
So the interview never came out, and like which is a fucking shame because it was so fire. And DMX was like very like... You could see he was tired. As soon as the cameras came on, as a born entertainer, born star, he like lit up. And then when he starts talking about the footage and we start playing it for him, he's like, oh, fuck, yes. Like, I remember the shit. So he told us that it was like the hottest day of the year. It was like July 99, right? Hottest day of the year. He flew in from like...
Hence the short overalls, not full overalls.
Well, he flew in from another tour date and like landed and he's like, yo, I don't have any clothes for how hot it is. So they drove in like a fucking SUV convoy to like the nearest like general like fucking farm supply store.
Right. Outpost.
And he's like, yeah, I got the Farmer John's. He's like, I got the Farmer John's. I left the Tim's on. I got all red, of course. So that fit, that like infamous fit that'll live on forever, he just like bought at a fucking shop down the road.
That's real swag, dude. Right? You can't teach that.
He was like, I had no idea. He's like, I didn't really know what the fuck was going on. I was just like kind of having a show. And he's like, I come out and I just like, it's people as far as the eye can see.
A sea of people.
As far as I can see.
Iconic
and it's like,
shit.
It blew me away. And he was like, oh, fuck. All right, I got to go hard. And then he like proceeded to just put on the greatest concert of all time.
Sure.
Then like a few months down the road, a less endearing or uplifting story. He like...
Which is more probably emblematic of the actual.
Yeah, our boy
DMX
Fanny.
Became,
like,
unfortunately,
I think that DMX has always struggled with like financial issues and like having a lot of children and having a lot of like unresolved personal relationships. He came in, so we tried. So it was Def Jam's 35-year anniversary, right? So we partnered up with Kith,
who we'll talk about later.
And Golden Bear, and we made these like varsity jackets, like these members only jackets.
They're not terrible.
There's like mine's on the floor over there. If anyone wants mine for I'm taking offers.
They're not members only. They're just legit varsity jackets with a lot of embroidery.
It's very high quality. They're like burgundy.
It's Golden Bear.
They're like burgundy. Exactly. Golden Bear is the goat. Burgundy. Leather, nice leather sleeves, but it says Kith on the back is the only thing.
Okay.
That was like Ronnie like insists on that. Of
course.
We made one for like every artist, past and present. We made them for like VPs and above. So I somehow got one. If anyone wants one that says Dr. Taco on it, like
Damn, it's personalized. Yo, you should put that on Grailed immediately, bro.
So we're like, yo, you don't be fired if like DMX is like out. He's like, people are fucking excited that he's out. People are kind of wondering if he's making music. Like what the deal is. He was in the office to try and re-up his contract, his deal.
Shit. He was negotiating.
They apparently like signed, and we're like, yo, DMX, while you're here, we got a photographer, our guy Fenny. I had transferred my office. I had put up a white seamless, and I was like, come through. But he's on the phone clearly like with like a family member that is like wants money or is owed money, and he's like kind of agitated and like frustrated and like very distracted on his phone. Fenny is just like shooting him as he's like screaming into his phone. He gets some good shots for sure. He had a 9/11. He had the Twin Tower tattoos on his neck.
Those pictures I've seen them on Fenny's gram. I think they're
because eventually I was like, Fenny,
they got released.
Well, the reason why is because we had this whole rollout planned to like celebrate the jackets. And it was like the whole like marquee moment or a marquee moment in the 35-year anniversary. Mm-hmm. And we're like, all right, we got fucking, GQ, we got whatever. Like, Ronnie's going to do his shit with, he's like, ever since I was a child, I listened to what I just did, basically. And we were going to fucking, we had, like, artists being like, yo, Fab, like, hold on. Yo, Nas, like, don't post yet. Yo, Russell Simmons, hiding on Bali. Don't post your shit because we don't talk to you anymore.
Yeah, please. Stay as far away as possible.
There's this whole rollout planned. It was, like, a big fucking multi-month thing. And then, like, DMX leaves the office and just posting on IG, just post on IG, just like him with the fucking jacket. People are like, yo, what is this? And we're like, fuck it, whatever. Yeah. So then like a few months later, the photos never came out, and Fenny's like, yo, can I just post this? And I was like, yeah, bro. Like, come off.
I remember you telling me that you, and I'm not trying to like throw Darkman X under the bus, and obviously the stance of the entire podcast is we hope he can fucking, get back on his feet and fucking move forward like the legend he is. But you told me that you were pretty sure that he was on drugs at the time.
Yeah, he seemed a little like
wide-eyed,
very agitated, very kind of like couldn't focus on the task at hand. Which again, like this guy, came out of jail,
right?
Realizes that he's still a fucking hero,
yeah,
right. And then like 2 months,
the whirlwind begins,
and then 2 months later comes back, like to see him the before and after of, like those 2 months or whatever, when everybody's trying to get his fucking inner circle, et cetera, et cetera. So.
Get in his pockets, etc.
I hope he gets better, but it does not seem good.
Yeah. He has COVID too.
What?
Yeah, I think
while in a coma.
I don't know. I think that was the most recent headline I saw. So yeah, prayers up for Darkman X. Jimmy and Larry, we're pulling for you. All the Rough Riders.
We know you're listening. We know they're playing this like this is your favorite podcast, and that.
But I will say, and I'm definitely am a fan, not as much of a fan as you are, though. That shouldn't kind of like don't take it the wrong way. Like DMX is a legend. I think that if he is in your top 5 dead or alive, that's absolutely fucking valid. It's been crazy to see the reception, whether it's on Twitter or all the fucking bikers outside of the fucking hospital. Like this man had a run for however many years, 5 years, whatever it was, that you could argue is legitimately unmatched. And the music fucking speaks for itself. The moments of which Woodstock 99 is a pinnacle, they speak for themselves. And we'll put some, if you're a younger listener and you're not familiar with the fucking
is
God,
it Rough Riders Anthem? Is it Get At Me Dog? And that was
Rough Riders Anthem as a more casual, because for someone our age, like you remember like DMX at his height, like obviously Rough Riders Anthem, that video dominating MTV, getting to meet like, the cast of characters, the Locks, Swizz Beatz,
Dragon,
Eve, Dragon, that universe that they built or that DMX built around Rough Riders. Yeah, exactly.
They did what Ass Pizza could not.
Yeah, if you are not familiar with that, if you are one of the younger listeners, please, this is crucial culture that matters not just to Yonkers, not just to the 5 boroughs, but to the greater culture at large.
He was like anti-shiny suit era, kind of like.
He was hard as fuck.
With like Bad Boy. He's the only someone I don't know the specifics, but he was like he used to rob people with just his dog.
Amazing.
Right? And he was the only. He was the only rapper, like New York City rapper, that like 50 didn't like diss on some like diss track where he just fucking annihilated everybody and was like, "Yo, I'm the king of New York now." he like 50 was like, I can't fucking even try and like touch DMX.
Not gonna happen.
That's just he's just too hard. And yeah, he was anti-suit era, and like DMX and Jay-Z kind of like went their trajectories kind of are parallel, and then obviously Jay-Z transcended into this like mogul billionaire
figure,
yeah, like suited and booted. But DMX was always very like just very hard.
He stayed true to his roots, and I think that DMX, if you go back and you watch interviews or read interviews from him or listen to his music, a very spiritual, emotional, intellectual, thoughtful guy.
Yeah.
And while the rap itself is hard as fuck and gangster as shit, just like you're saying with 50 not even remotely trying to take a shot there, that's proof in and of itself. Like there is that kind of undercurrent that it to me is just like it is so unique and one of a kind that I think the music has unlimited, infinite replay value forever. Truly a go.
I mean, you might just know him from like the pop smashes of like X Gonna Give It To You or like Party Up in Here or like
Rough Riders Anthem, etc.
The song with Cisco, where he just like names women's names. But when you're describing someone that is like a spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, just a god. For a second there, I thought you were describing our guy Dave Portnoy.
If you have been lucky enough to and honestly, the way he's handling that dame in the most recent sex tape, kind of dog-like.
She was on a leash.
She's on a leash. She has a choker. Okay, so and also, honestly, I will not. Portnoy is not a guy that I would want to put a hex on. Most people know of our illicit, salacious history with Barstool, but there's not really beef there.
Can I just say, I still to this day maintain that Portnoy was a little shook of us when he was on our FU episode.
Oh, great. Classic.
There was a bit of a quiver in his voice.
Think so?
I shit you not. Because like,
is that because he was like, oh, I'm never going to be cool to these guys?
And he wants to be? And he's like, and I don't, like, they don't need to, like, suck my dick because they're freelancers, right?
Yeah,
and then
they
also,
don't
like,
give a fuck.
And then also he said, like, when he, obviously he was, like, sucking our dicks a little bit when he was, like, plugging the show, but he was like, these guys are, like, the best at giving it, right? Like, these guys are, like, on my level. Like,
and even after all the drama went down and we got, like, whatever.
During that drama, who wouldn't come to the table? Dave Portnoy. Who
True.
wanted to meet Jimmy and Larry.
But when he gave us half a bar on like whatever Barstool XM radio after it was all said and done,
his voice is. I swear to God, there's a little quiver in his voice.
I remember when I think it was Dunk who was like, "Yo, my boy was just listening to Barstool radio. You guys got mentioned." I was like shook and like, I'm like, "Oh my God, what did he say?" And I remember listening back, expecting the worst, and almost being like completely surprised at how relieved I was, because from what I remember, and I don't know if you could ever go back and find this, but his whole thing was like, yeah, like, these dudes are shit talkers. So this leaked audio, he's like, yeah, not really surprised. So I don't know. Well, I do know we never got the full wrath of Dave, like so many other people did. And I would say that as much as, listen, am I going to vote for Dave Portnoy for president? Absolutely.
Yo,
is
he gonna handle China and Iran the way he handled this broad down in Miami?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not Team Portnoy, but I will say that I do have this weird begrudging respect for Dave and
for the way he spits on women's heads.
And the weird thing about that, at least in terms of this what is this one now, the third sex tape that is leaked in whatever how many years?
Second one I've seen. I've only
the
seen
Bagwell
two.
One famously.
Yeah. Shagwell.
Dave Shagwell. The weird conspiracy theory that I've seen in his Menchies that I think is interesting, and I would pose this question to you is I know it affected the stock in a negative way, which is like why he addressed it, but if Dave is kind of, do you think that the fact that his dick has never been shown in any of these sex tapes and these very kind of truncated nuclear viral clips, these kind of like vines are coming out, do you think that points to him being like the leaker by design to kind of like change, or not change, but to continue to kind of like, reinforce this reputation
that
as
fucks.
like
That he fucks.
that he's he's just another dude, he's a man of the people, that he is kind of like this,
I don't want to give too much
blue collar guy.
I don't want to give too much airtime to Dave Portnoy because we have so many throw gang opinions to get through. But I don't think he's leaking them. I think the only way he would be leaking them is if somebody else is like, "Yo, I will leak this more unflattering portion of the tape, and he's like, "Oh, you know what? Just put out this like part where you don't where it's like clear that I'm just like having sex with like a hot blonde woman."
Right.
My
man loves doggy style.
it's
Say
yeah,
that.
exactly.
I mean, who doesn't, right? I mean, come on.
yes, controlling the narrative, grabbing the bull by its blonde hair.
Yeah, sure.
Is what he's doing, and I don't know.
He likes blondes. He likes doggy style. He likes it fucking rough. And honestly, as time has gone on, it seems like listen, he's got the bloodlust, dude. That's
like
for
what
fucking
if
damn sure.
To me, it's just like, yo, like what if you're fucking Big Cat or like PFT and you need to go into work the next day and you know that your boss loves to go at a girl like when he's fucking. Like, what if Chuck
or just spit in a whore's mouth?
Yeah, but like not in her mouth, like it was into her hair. Like he like missed. I think I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, we don't know that she was a sex worker, right? She may have been
excuse me.
a consenting adult.
Which is, I think, that's his thing. He's like, why is this news, right? It's like, I am a consenting adult having consensual sex. Like, why is this? And it's like, it's because you're a celebrity.
It was a lot more intense, I guess, than the Shagwell
It's ratcheting
incident.
up, and I will say, in all of the group chats where this has become a topic of conversation, he's gotten rave reviews, and I almost wonder if, while the stock has maybe dipped, and ultimately, like the
actual pen stock.
Yeah, and where the one place you can hit a guy like Dave is obviously his wallet. I mean, this dude just moved to Miami so that he doesn't have to pay fucking state taxes, income tax.
I'm sorry, but there's also no way that there's a correlation between like the leaking of a sex tape.
He was claiming that it was a straight direct correlation. So.
Yeah, because that's a great storyline.
Oh,
and then like the little guys get to buy the dip and then fucking profit
right.
when
it's all being manipulated. Yeah. That this is literally what Davey Day Trader has done. This is what he's been doing for crypto. So for sure, that's absolutely part of it. Yeah, I mean, I think it ultimately, right, when it boils down, it's good for business. And I guess I would tell you, like, yo, let's get the Jimmy sex tape out there or a sex clip. You know,
if I could choose,
let's get you doggy style with the fucking with a young co-ed.
I just don't want Chuck having to come into work the next day and like have to look me in the eye and me be like, "Attaboy, attaboy."
Your fuck style is buck wild, Jim. And
that's
we couldn't be prouder of
That's
you.
a Rappaportism, and we don't want the
dude, exactly.
the Rappaport treatment.
Shout out Dave.
Let's get off. let's get off our former freelance 1099 payer and onto the only homies that matter, the Throw Gang. So we put this out there in a Throwing Fits tweet. Yo, we want your John's opinion that gets you this reaction, which is like swords at the neck, like a million swords at
the Pixar version of the John
what is
Wick
that?
meme.
Is that Frozen?
It's got to be one of the
Coco.
Listen, I'm not a baby. I don't watch movies for babies, but it seems like
How to Train Your Dragon or some shit.
Yeah, some shit like that.
All right.
But basically, it is a unpopular John's opinion prompt. We got so many responses that we felt we should address this.
Yeah.
So why don't we just get into them? You are going to give credit to the people too?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
you got to stand by your opinion. So at Struglord says golden again. It is what is your John's opinion that is so wildly unpopular that people will just be fucking ready to kill you when you state it.
Right.
Struglord says
Shout
golden
out
goose. Golden goose unfairly maligned.
No, this is. You and I, and you love to say that I am a wave rider. I think you brought that up on my birthday in your kind of send-up roast of me. Trends.
Never been a trend you couldn't ride.
Right. Trends ebb and they flow, and I'm sure you could fucking chronicle these if you've been listening to the show over, the nearly 5 years that we've been doing it. Golden Goose, for me, is absolute overpriced garbage, almost literally, since the shoes are fucking distressed and duct taped into oblivion to begin with. You could not pay. Well, you could pay me, but you'd have to pay me a substantial amount of money.
At least 2 golden geese.
Yeah, at least for me to put on 2 golden geese, you would have to fucking open up the fucking coffers.
Eric Nardini's favorite sneaker.
And I think that this is a super bougie normie common project.
This is
that looks more like shit.
I think that if you and I stand for anything, it's that we are against wearing shit that is simply about, shouting to the world, "Hey, you know how much I paid for this,
right?
You know that I'm
star.
Yeah, you know that I'm rich enough to have this Gucci snake around my nipple, or these off-white quotations.
This Chrome Hearts fly swatter.
Yeah, this like Louis V whatever. Golden Geese is like the OG of that, where it's not it's so fucking basic. It's so like
It's very gauche.
Connecticut white girl. It's so gauche, so new money that no, they are fairly maligned. If anything, we should malign them more.
Yeah. I don't know how many of these we're going to agree upon, but I imagine we're going to be kind of split. This one is a great way to start because this is truly the definition of an unpopular
This is
opinion
so bad.
because it is fucking bad. Moksha August, my guy, Struglord. I won't say your real name on the pod.
You just
Get
did.
the fuck out of here. That's not his real name. That's
Okay.
his nom de plume.
Moksha, I feel like Moksha was. This is like such a bad opinion that it's almost like a troll. But let's move on
Maybe.
to
It's possible.
at Lastro Lab, who says Tony Soprano
Tone!
isn't a style icon.
Lastro Lab, you son of a bitch. I mean, this is Lastro I know of because he's Throw Gang. He's European. I wonder if that plays into it. Maybe he's not a fan.
Oh, he's a Furio guy?
of the high American art form that is The Sopranos, arguably, or maybe without a doubt, the greatest show of all time. I mean, come on, dude. Tone, we talked about this with Stavi, baby.
Yep.
Tone, whether it's the late season awake apnea tracksuit shit.
Well, that's what I want to get into.
Or the statement camp collar, barbecue shirt, early stuff. Tone for big boys, for the Husky boys, Tone is absolutely a style icon, and I cannot be convinced otherwise.
So I don't necessarily. Sure, yes, he's a style icon in that like a lot of people do kind of like point like objectively he's a style icon. Like people point to him and are just like, yo, like that's my style icon. I think that he's unfairly
Maligned?
associated and immortalized in the tracksuit because as I went
I see what you're
triple platinum in your Menchies, he only started wearing tracksuits in late season 5, which would have been like, I don't know, 2004, 2005, when like, you know, Juicy Couture was a thing.
The show's
when, like,
wrapping up at that point.
yeah,
That's only
I'm
six
currently
seasons, right?
I'm currently in the middle of 6A.
Right.
There's 6A, 6B. And like everyone's in tracksuits, like Paulie, Carmela, but you know, Christopher.
So you're saying that look is an artifact of the time
What-
which that show is being recorded.
And then Furio shirts, right? There was a article in GQ today about like his glorious silk shirts and then his Tony's bowling shirts. What Tony doesn't get credit for is that in the earlier seasons, he is on some fucking Adam Sandler, Howie Bling, Uncut Gems type shit, where it's like very luxurious,
Drip.
very white people mall, like cashmere knits, cashmere polos,
that.
big fucking
Love a knit polo.
big flowy trousers,
Yeah.
Loafers.
yeah,
Right?
I mean, that's
And-
a look.
But it's the look that I don't think people give Tony Soprano or whatever the Sopranos enough credit for, because but it is like Tony Soprano, his personal as he evolved, his personal style evolved,
I would say that a lot of these
and noted boxer wear.
Yeah, sure. That is absolutely facts. I will say that some of these are probably these unpopular Jawnz opinions, and obviously we're talking about the fucking timeline. This is a lot of Twitter finger stuff, and shout out Lastro Lab, but this seems to be a contrarian take for contrarian's sake because where The Sopranos is, you're talking about an article in GQ today, it's like we might listen, this wave had already crested. Like, we need to move past this show as, like, the obvious fucking touch point for fucking fashion, for references, for Zood boards. That doesn't mean the show isn't good. That doesn't mean Tone isn't fucking dripped up and draped out, but I think we might need to move on to something else.
Before we move on, it's a little weird that how fixated they were on Vito's homosexuality. Anyway, Ray Lindquist says, y'all dress the same, which I think he means referring to us.
I mean, listen, you and I have an extremely successful podcast. We are very aspirational in what we do and how we dress. And as everyone listening at home knows, there are going to be clones, not just of the Larry variety, but of the Jimmy variety. And if the point here is that you're complaining about us controlling and creating the zeitgeist, then I don't know what the fuck to tell you. Like, this, whether this is this is just facts, bro.
Yeah. Also,
I don't know sorry.
If you think that way, you're not paying attention. I mean, I think it's exemplified in the flow pack that we're getting from the Joker, Yoakum.
Oh, right.
Which I guess should touch down tomorrow. Our requests were so, I told you I was like, this is
diametrically opposed.
I was like, this is so such an example of the duality of Jimmy and Larry, where you asked for like the double-breasted peak lapel jacket and a work shirt,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I asked for 2 pairs of shorts and a crew neck with like the yin yang like sun logo, like this fucking Sublime logo.
Which is fire, and I think we both can appreciate. But it's like, oh, I would rather.
Yeah, if
I'll
I had
leave that to the other.
If I had my druthers, I would of course get everything. But like if I had to pick, then I'm going towards the more like fucking dirtbag sleazy guy, and you're going towards the more like dirtbag dressed up guy.
Yeah, and I think that, and also we're speculating on what the fuck y'all dress the same even means, and who this is ultimately pointing to. But like everything, we're gonna make it about ourselves. So fuck off.
TX Mex Mike says baggies have way too deep of pockets and make your butt itch.
First of all, the deep pockets thing, is this an unpopular opinion? I mean, they are too deep.
Yeah, the worst part is when you
and this is what famously Pusha T responding to Chuck.
Yes, sir.
You put your fucking iPhone,
a brick of cash in.
You put a brick of cash in. If you're Push, you put a fucking iPhone in. If you're a civilian, your wallet, your keys, whatever. They're so deep that they fucking sag the 5 inches down, and you're constantly hiking up or fucking tying the drawstring.
Yeah.
It happens. I mean,
for me,
facts.
the iPhone, like there's too much. It's a pendulum, right? So the iPhone like swings out and then slaps your thigh.
Too much space. Yeah.
As for making your butt itch, bro, I think you just have hemorrhoids.
Or that's a brains in or brains out. And I keep I don't blow my brains. You blow your brains.
Well, I blow my brains out in some and keep them in others. And for the ones that I keep in, those are like, that's a bathing suit.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, so this dude, might have a personal problem. He might have a dingleberry situation. He might have hemorrhoids because, like, what happens when you put on... What happens when you put on any fucking shit?
TX Mex Mike has hemorrhoids. All right, at InternetP_ says, I ain't seen a good Rick Owen piece ever. Rick Owen? Sick. Rick Owen.
Okay.
I ain't seen a good Rick Owen piece ever.
You're not looking hard enough. You and I... Well, we've both owned some Rick over the years.
I've
literally
two
one
pieces.
or two, right? And my point to this guy would be, just because I kind of agree with you in that I don't want to spend my hard-earned money on Rick, doesn't mean I can appreciate Rick, not just for what the designer has done as an independent fashion brand that has never sold out to a conglomerate, that continues to fucking run checks up despite that fact. But like at the end of the day, I can appreciate the look, the aesthetics. It might not be for me, but like that doesn't mean that it's not good.
And it's one of those designers where if you do go full Rick, then you look fucking fire, right? Like very few designers can you do head to toe, and you just look like a tryhard
or a mannequin or whatever. Yeah,
with Rick, like that's why you have like Rick acolytes, right?
This guy needs to free his mind a bit.
Free your mind a bit, and like don't look at the fucking penis cloaks. Like there's fucking hoodies and sweaters that you can work into rotation.
And just because something is not for you personally doesn't mean it's bad. Right? Like
that's not what he's saying. Well, I guess that is what he's saying.
Maybe.
All right, this is not Cade says you can wear a t-shirt of a band even if you cannot name 5 songs of theirs.
I personally
name 5 Beatles songs.
She came in through the bathroom window.
That's Amigo song.
Yellow Submarine.
You can stop.
Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
You can stop naming trash songs. So you think that you can wear?
No, you can't. No, I agree with him. I don't. Is this also unpopular? I mean, are there people out here like, are you gonna be the fucking influencer LA chick who's going to wear the Metallica tee but like has never listened to Metallica? Like that, I kind of. I fucking respect people wearing what they want to wear to some degree, but like I kind of agree with this. 5 songs is not a high bar.
Yeah.
Even on the spot, I could name 5 Beatles
I agree,
songs.
but I also
as a fan, that
I agree, but
listens.
I also disagree in that anyone that's like, name 5 songs, like shut the fuck up.
Well, you shouldn't do that. I think he's speaking more kind of generally about it as a concept.
Sure. So I think I'm just
Also, I wonder what this dude. Okay, so I would want to know who's the guy.
This is not Cade.
This is not Cade. I would love to know. You're clearly talking about some specific tee
Slayer,
that you own.
Metallica,
what is the band? I'm actually very curious.
Whatever. Hank Moody-ish says, there's never an occasion for brown dress shoes.
I will say this. If you have no dress shoes or you're buying your first pair of loafers, I always tell the fucking kids, go with black first because it's more versatile. With that said, honestly, it's nice to have. I got the brown Loewe joints now. I just got on Horatio Flow Team for the brown faux croc joints that I put in the fucking dumper yesterday. I think brown has a place, and it really kind of depends on what else is happening with the fit. You're not going to wear it with like a black suit,
No.
or something super specific like that. But to be like you shouldn't have them at all, there's no place. That's insane.
I mean, when he says brown dress shoes, what comes to mind is kind of like just like very, typical like brown lace up like
Or
church
like
shoes.
wingtips or
Yeah.
Oxfords or
But, like
Bluchers.
my fucking our Legace snuff brown suede loafies go perfectly with.
But is snuff a little? Oh, your snuff are the kilty ones.
Yeah.
Those are brown. Yeah, those are
yeah, like it's like a tobacco.
Yeah. Wacky
like,
tobacco.
Those go with green pants. Those go with denim. Those go with these fucking fatigues because everything goes with fatigues.
This dude is missing out.
Again, it's like by it's like know the rules so that you can break them.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Thank you. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Because it is like do not wear brown shoes with a black suit. But if you have like a kind of like a dust, like I have a dusty blue suit that would go
Money.
that is fire with brown shoes.
Agreed.
The fucking shits that we're getting made to measure, great with brown shoes.
Yeah.
All right, this is it's personal.
Mm-hmm.
Sessi Ortak, you're on my fucking list, bitch.
Hex,
This
put a hex upon
motherfucker,
him.
Sessi Ortak, you've been hexed. Don't die. Our legacy is kind of boring.
This is just like the Rick thing by any other name, bro. You're not paying attention. You're looking at the wrong stuff. If anything, if I ever have beef with Legace, which I do not,
Do not.
and I will admit that you are the Legace god. You have brought all of us into your fucking world of fandom and enthusiasm, and have opened up a lot of eyes. I will say that you're just looking at the wrong stuff if you think this. What are you talking about? If anything, they push the barrier maybe too much sometimes, where I don't want my fucking nips out on fucking camera.
Well, Legace, the beauty of Legace is that it's one of those, and I put like engineered garments up there where it's like every time you wear a Jawn from this brand, you discover you discover something new about it. Where you're like, whoa, I didn't know that the technicality of this fabric did this, or I didn't know that if I styled it this way, it could be like this. So maybe you're just like looking at the individual garments on like flat product shots and not looking at the full fits that are on the Legace site because. The way that Legace is styled on the Our Legacy site is so much different and better than I think anywhere else.
Oh, like how the stockists might present a shirt.
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly.
Maybe
Or
that's the issue,
exactly, or kind of like how how it might be in store, kind of like who it's sitting next to. So you might just see like an Our Legacy shirt, but have you handled the fabric? Have you done your research into like the different cuts? Do you know like the fact that they took this fabric from I don't know like 10 years ago and brought it back and did it this way? I mean, again, to your point, it's like, nips, like it's very sexy now. And there's a lot of stuff that is simply, for me, I'm too much of a bitch. It's like unwearable because I'm too much of a pussy, right? Like I'm not going to wear like bell bottom fucking super distressed denim with like a lacy top.
Yeah, I think if anything,
That's anything but boring.
Our Legacy over the years, I think, has been a perfect example of how a brand can grow and evolve, not just by chasing trends, but by kind of like honing and refining the best parts of what they do to the point where the Our Legacy collections that come out every year feel better than what has come before. And what I would say to this dude is that you're clearly there. Something is being lost in translation. And even if you are not an adventurous person and that's why you're looking at it and you're being like, oh, it's like boring or not good. Like you need to step back. You need to fucking widen or change your gaze about like you're saying, where you're specifically looking at this stuff or how you specifically are thinking about it being styled. Because I feel the exact opposite where like, the boots, the camion boots I've worn a million times.
Push you out your comfort zone.
Those are square-toed boots that actually, if anything, are more like a Margiela thing, which to me is like the most avant-garde boot that I've ever owned, and now it's a staple.
Right.
And I wear them every week.
I mean, they're known for their shirting. They're known for their like knits. And so like again, if you're looking at those in a vacuum, then I could see maybe you're just like, oh, it's just like a white shirt. It's just a blue shirt. But like you got to look at the like anything. You got to look at it with context, with a larger environment. Let's move on to fuck you, Sessi Ortak. A Frost 32 says Air Forces are garbage. All white, all black, any colorway on any gender. Shots.
Damn, it's a classic shoe. I admit that I hate seeing every gentrifying hipster in an extremely fucking cooked pair in every neighborhood in Brooklyn. I personally only wore Forces in one period of my life when we were at Complex, and it was the kind of nuclear ascension of of A$AP Rocky and him and the whole mob were wearing mids, which is like a very interesting thing. One of the many kind of, and maybe the most untalked about kind of style trend that they pushed was because up until that point, people wore lows, uptowns, obviously, or they wore highs. No one really freaked the mids. They freaked the mids. They kind of changed my perception on like what that kind of sneaker could be. And I've owned multiple pairs of mids in my life. I don't wear them anymore, but I would disagree with this. It's a classic.
I don't really know how you can fucking blanket statement. Yes, like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, maybe the audience has ruined the product, kind of like, Rick and Morty.
Sure.
Or,
Throwing fits.
Or podcasts in general.
Yeah.
Or, rock climbing.
Yeah.
But
all the things that make up your entire identity.
I mean, there's a reason why, white forces particularly have like stuck around for so fucking long, and why they
sell out right now. If you try to buy white forces, they're going to be like sold out everywhere.
Yeah, people are even turning to the black forces, because they can't get their hands on the whites. I don't know. I've never been an Air Forces guy myself. Like
As
it
a
was,
city kid,
it was just
you
never.
rocked.
It was just never really a thing. I don't know.
You didn't go above 14th Street. That's why.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But no, to say this is just fucking crazy. And like, yes, you don't have to like appreciate the people that are like the history, I guess. But I will say that I will much more appreciate the fact that someone who doesn't really know what they're doing or isn't a sneakerhead will choose to just like throw on forces as like the the foundation of the fit,
exactly.
versus trying to go out there with some fucking zany shit
Some
or just
Balenciaga Triple S
yeah,
bullshit.
or some absolute bricks
in terms of chunky shoes. Right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So like forces are just kind of like a
It's a classic staple. It'll always be in style. And the reason that this, to me, would be like maybe the most unpopular of all of these unpopular opinions is because, the more good taste in the world, the better. That is what we preach on the show. If anybody was like, should I buy fucking crispy white forces for the spring, summer? I'd be like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
What the fuck are we talking about here, please?
We're talking about Queen Onyx with 2 X's. Queen Onyx VA. And we're going to block out a bunch of these and maybe save them for another day because this is fun. Queen Onyx VA. We're going to end with our boy Jake Wolf. Queen Onyx VA, who I think her Twitter bio was like the queen of hip hop, says, sometimes it's not the fit that's fire. It's the walk. A confident walk makes a fit 10,000 times more fly.
Not an unpopular opinion. This is the right opinion. This is what I'd like to think the show represents. This is what we talked about with Stav for an hour and a half this week. This is everything. And if listening to this podcast and hearing 2 fucking, nerds pontificate about Jawnz like brings you anything, any piece of information, a seed, a kernel, it's that, you need to fucking love yourself. You need to be confident, and 1,000% swag comes from inside, not what you are wearing on the outside. Full stop. End of story.
I mean, the perfect permutation is that the fit makes you feel confident so that you are walking with your fucking shoulders back.
The virtuous cycle of swag.
Chest out, loins fucking swanging, just your clackers clacking.
Poise, ready to go.
Yeah, just, eyes forward, ass out. But, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
this is not an unpopular opinion.
It's not an unpopular opinion, but, like,
This is facts.
it is truly unfortunate when you see a fucking worm wearing, like, a fit, and they're just like,
Yeah.
Well, sorry, like a fire fit, and they're just like, like it's my fit's fire, right? And honestly, that is the unfortunate result of, I think, that the current iteration of like streetwear and hype culture, where it's like you think that just because
you own it,
just because you're wearing golden geese, just because you're wearing like stuff with like quotation marks on it, people are like, oh, this is fire. And you don't have the confidence. No, it's not fire. It's just you're portraying to the world how much money you paid, and you think that's enough.
No,
right? So the fit is not fire. Your confidence is not there. Those really are the two the potent combination: fire, fit, confidence. They go hand in hand. They kind of like self-perpetuate each other.
Exactly.
Right? It's the snake sucking its own dick with the fire fit on. And yeah, Queen Onyx VA, come on the pod.
The queen of hip hop.
Yeah,
we'd love to host.
All right. Speaking of queens of hip hop, Jake Wolf says, y'all give way too much credit to Harry Styles, and he starred out, the Twitter thing. Y'all give way too much credit to Harry Styles' stylist and bit the whole marketing campaign around him being a style icon. Hook, line, and sinker. This feels like shots.
Yeah, well, this is definitely shots, hence the asterisk. I don't even think it's like a
Not just Harry and like the whole media establishment.
Yeah, and for me, when I'm talking about Harry Styles specifically, or like a small subsection of certain kind of like super AA list celebs, this isn't a Styles thing. This man is a brand ambassador, right? It's the Gucci relationship. This is commerce. This is marketing. This is advertising. And if we're talking about the confidence in the fit being a virtuous cycle, this also proves, if anything, that if you are handsome, if you are beautiful, if you are young, and talented, right? Well, let's be clear.
Yeah.
Harry Styles is very talented. It doesn't really fucking matter. I mean, it could be Gucci. It could be fucking Celine. It doesn't matter. Plug and play what the brand is. It just so happens that the Gucci shit definitely enhances like the gender bending aspect of his brand. But I mean, I don't know, dude. What are we really gonna like? Why are we addressing? Listen, Jake, I love you, but why are we addressing this? This is very obvious to me.
Well, no,
and it's
I think
don't
that
hate the player, hate the game. He looks fucking good. He's Harry Styles. He's beautiful. Let it rock.
I do think that when you kind of remove yourself from like the media equation, you do look back and be like, oh shit, like people need media companies need to be like, yo, like style gods, yo,
Sure.
grooming gods, whatever. Like
GQ needs to fill out that bracket every year.
they need
There's
to
gotta
post
be
the
a winner.
content, and
I think he won. I think he won the most style. You know, we did the fit. Yo, did he win the Fitties?
Ooh, I hope
Fuck.
not. God damn it, did he?
No, but here's the thing. I'm not mad if he did because he does look good.
He's got some fits off outside of like
The
being
Grammys blazer look, the shirtless leather. Speaking of Howie Bling, speaking of fucking Tony, listen. He's got the tats. He's got the abs. He wears a high-waisted shit better than anybody.
He's gotten some fits off, not in Gucci head to toe, which again he is paid to wear Gucci, and
Or you're just talking about the paparazzi jogging, vintage Patagonia. He's
got some fits off, and then also again, it's like if you're that handsome, you transcend
doesn't matter.
fashion, right? Like
Yeah.
this is kind of like that's the number one. What did Rick Owens say?
Yeah, it's not. It's like just being fit is the most paraphrasing, but being jacked is the most stylish thing you can do for yourself.
Yeah. So with Harry fucking Styles, I mean,
Harry fucking Styles.
yes, it's a marketing campaign, but it's also like, Jake, love you, bro. Put us on Flow Team with you know who. But it's like, does it
Get him on the pod.
is
You
it-
know who?
Is it even? Does it even matter? Like, is there even a line between like marketing and content at this point? I don't know.
I think that with the unpopular opinion thing, I'm not going to say that a lot of people are showing their ass out here, but it's like, listen, there are certain specific things that bother certain specific people for certain specific reasons, and I also am somebody who looks at Harry Styles, and I wish I had as luscious of a receding hairline. I wish my abs were as
It's some
fucking
bird tattoos.
I wish I had the ink. I wish I had that fucking, beautiful washboard midsection. So I get it, but at the same time, it's like, listen, if anybody is gonna be a fucking shill for Alessandro's gender bending bell bottom 70s hippie fuck shit, it's this fucking guy.
Also, I'm not. I was listening to our guy Oliver El Khatib. He watches our stories.
Yo, shout out
And-
fucking Ali.
And
Ali
sometimes,
North, the OVO general.
Sometimes we'll double tap our responses to his story. I did pitch him. I was like, yo, Ollie, if you were the big man himself, ever want to come on the pod, open
Yo,
invite, bro. And he's
please.
like, yo, I got you. I was like, okay.
Please.
I listened to his latest SoundCloud mix in the gym today. One's fucking, chest and arms
Nice.
every day. Legs are beta, cardio's beta.
Of course.
I
I hit the gym all chest, no legs.
a lot of fucking rappers seem to be out on Scoochie right now.
Really?
They were just like, yo, fuck Gucci, fuck, it's a,
Is it because it's gay?
No, it's like, fuck Gucci Wayne with them snakes,
Oh.
but like then like my girl asked me for Chanel, right? Somebody's like rapping all about like Andamil Meester just because,
What?
because I want to fuck the girl in a keister. I don't know.
That's not real.
But so Gucci obviously is like, it's had its moment with fucking, the whatever.
The
like,
moment is like
Manic
almost
Pixie
like
Dream
been
Girl.
very much extended.
Yeah, the snake, the birds and the bees and all that shit. So I would be interested. I don't know what Harry's fucking contract is or anything, but like, what does post Gucci Harry look like or do?
like a full that's on some Bowie Prince rebrand shit. Like eventually, a guy at that level is going to have to, by necessity, switch the look up to keep the fucking girlies, to keep the fucking boys engaged. And yeah, I can't even imagine what will be next. And I will say one of the things that Alessandro has done that a lot of fashion designers have done since at least modern times that fashion houses have had relationships with celebs is that Alessandro really has that fucking cabal of homies. Leto, fucking Ari, people like that. That what's up?
Casey Musgraves.
Yeah,
right?
Just people that are in the Rolodex, that are in the phone, that are actual homies. And from there, obviously, there is a lot of ways to make money off of those relationships. And yeah, it will be interesting to see if Harry switches it up at some point soon.
He'll go to Endemol Meester. All right, the fucking vibes. Those were the most unpopular.
Yeah, thank
Jawnz
you.
opinions.
Thank you to everyone for engaging with us on the timeline.
I want to make this. I
want to
make this a recurring feature.
I don't know about
Lawrence
recurring,
is
but
not really into it.
more prompts on
Bro, we
on
have
the TL.
we have like 8 million. Noah. Okay, last one.
Okay,
last one.
Let's get it.
Garbage Yuppie, great username, says their unpopular opinion. Noah and Ame Leon Dor are trending towards Kith territory. First off, what do you think it means by Kith territory?
Wash, normie, corny, just
Okay.
like not coppable.
Noah and ALD are trending towards that.
He's half right. Speaking of one door closing, another opened, an idiom that I love to use and I've used earlier in this pod. I think that you're half right. I think that as Noah, which we've always appreciated as a brand that has truly stood.
Do you wear Noah? Like, do you wear Noah?
And you know what? Everything I'm about to say that kind of like shits on Noah. I'll be honest. I still love Noah's fucking wild trousers. I love I love that they've held the mantle up for grown man streetwear, a cause that is near and dear to our heart that obviously ALD does as well. But I think that Noah, who's always had these core values and have stood for, have had these brand pillars and have stood for things that are important, I think, to the show and important to a lot of people, that, in the vein of great kind of brands like Patagonia, etc. I think that they have become a version of themselves that it almost feels like a parody where it's this kind of like woke neoliberal corny
no
vibe.
Racist friends.
Yeah, and that is a perfect example. And I understand that the reference that shirt is making to like a special song, which is like an iconic ska band, and whether or not you think like ska can be iconic and cool to begin with is a whole different story. But like that to me, it is so fucking far removed from like we don't do fucking Cyber Monday, we don't do Black Friday, we want to be the new Patagonia. And as I think Noah has fucking fallen off a fucking precipice, I think that ALD has stuck to their guns and has continued to improve year after year, and Teddy is surrounding himself with such amazing fucking talent and such an amazing team, of which I think you and I, we're models, right? We're part of that. I think that while Noah has fallen off, ALD continues to rise and get better and better, all hype aside, just speaking purely of the product and the fucking branding and the marketing. And I would say that, yeah, dude, you're half right. And, you will not catch me wearing Noah-branded stuff, at least as it stands right now. Not that I was. Right. You're still going to see me in. I really love the fucking suit separates. I love the proprietary fabrics. I love the loud-ass trousers. But I really think that ALD... Mom, eat that lunch, dog. Eat that lunch, Teddy.
Little conflict of interest there. I think that
sure, of course I'm biased.
I think that Brandon Bebenzian is still like the most interesting man in streetwear or in like menswear right now. If you want to have a conversation that is just like references, like 5 references upon 5 references, like that's the guy.
The world doesn't need another New Order collab though. Like,
but
what the fuck
no,
that?
but. I'm talking about the human, but if I would agree that it's Noah trending that way, not ALD. I would say Noah and Supreme are trending that way, in that it's like, you want to collab with the Smurfs? Oh, you want to collab with fucking Looney Tunes? Or you want to collab?
The Batman Noah collab was
so I'm saying,
great.
So it's like
that was some kith ass shit. It's the definition of kith ass shit.
It's not being like intentional with your collaborations.
Sure.
It's
money grabs.
Whether it's a money grab, whether it's kind of like just you're like, like let's have a little pop culture moment. The Noah suiting has always been fire, but the logo mania of Noah has always been a turnoff to me, and the fact that they're really leaning into prep for me as a non-prepsman, with the fucking rugbies, with like the V-neck sweaters, with the fact that it is like they really are just leaning into that shit. I'm not into that. I can see that. And then ALD is like, if anything, they're being more like sniper with their fucking collaborations, right?
Yeah.
With their campaigns, with who they
purposeful.
choose to
It all feels
associate
very
with.
purposeful, yeah.
Even when you have like Kendall Jenner and Bella Hadid
Kicking
shopping at ALD, they're not promoting that.
Right.
Right? Like Teddy's not like, yeah, like look, the fucking Kardashian Jenners are here. Like, no, because that's bad for the cool factor of the business. The racist French shit is ridiculous. Patia is obviously leading the fucking the queen. She texted me the fucking no racist French shit. And I was like, yeah,
What are you supposed to say?
I don't know what to say. And then she's someone's like, yeah, we're not gonna achieve freedom with like t-shirts, bro. Like
that is some very copying off the timeline graphic design.
yo, let's put a hex on whoever's heading up the racial justice side of Noah.
And it's not that these brands shouldn't stand for causes that they believe in and they should use their platform, but it's about being meaningful and intentional versus performative. And I know that's easy for us to say because we were not involved in the inception of such an absolutely pathetic and hideous garment. But one thing is for sure, one opinion that will never be unpopular is that Throwing Fits is the only podcast that matters.
Yes, Sirski.
And we thank our best friends behind the paywall for joining us weekly, as you are wont to do. And I think we should end it with some Darkman X. I'll let you pick.
I'm gonna need some time. I guess like 2 hours before you start editing this. I'm gonna need some time to pick the exact track. It might be Rough Riders Anthem. I'm not gonna lie, just because it's such a fucking eternal smacker.
Smacking.
But I'm gonna need to
Getting
take us out
schmangled on pod.
right now to the tunes of Earl
Simmons.
Earl Simmons, Darkman X, DMX.
Earl
All right.
Simmons.
Thanks, Chef.
Thanks, guys.